Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ambesiwe Madolwana. I am from SchoolNet South Africa, and today we are going to be talking about implement Google Workspace across your business. I am not alone. I am with my colleague, Mr. Mduduzim Debele, who will be our moderator for today. On our agenda today, we have Discover Google Workspace, boost communication across your business, leverage tools to increase collaboration, meaning that at the end of this session today, you will understand what Google Workspace is and which tools are available, the core functionality, as well as the benefits of using this digital workspace. You will also identify tools to boost communication across your business. You'll also explore which tools can be leveraged to increase collaboration across teams. Now, let's take a minute to familiarize ourselves with the chat box functionality, which we'll be using today during the session for questions, comments, and also suggestions. If you own a small business and you are ready to scale, Google offers free bootcamp. All you need to do is sign up for Google Hustle Academy at the link showing on my screen. If you own a small business and now you are ready to scale, you need to just sign up for Google Hustle Academy. It's free of charge. It's a free bootcamp from Google. Now, what tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business? I would like to hear from you guys. What tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business? Please use the chat box for comments. Now, let us discover our Google Workspace. What is Google Workspace? The second question for today is, do you currently use Google Workspace in your business? And if so, how do you use Google Workspace? Please let us know if you currently use Google Workspace in your business. And if you do, please let us know how do you use Google Workspace. Now, let us find out what Google Workspace is. Google Workspace, it is what is used to be called G Suite. It is an example of a digital workspace. And digital workspace, it enables people to work online wherever there is a stable internet connection. Google Workspace in particular is a collection of cloud computing, productivity, and collaboration tools. It enables users to create documents, spreadsheets, slides, and many more. You can also store data files and information safely and securely, and it is sold and marketed globally by Google. Now, let us find out which tools are included within the Google Workspace. Here are the tools that are included within Google Workspace. If I will go clockwise, we have Google Documents, Google Mail, Calendar, we have Google Drive, we have Google Meet, Keep, Chats, Google Jamboard, Admin Console, Google Sheets, Slides, Sites, and lastly, we have Forms. And also, we also have a few other tools included, such as Google Current, which we'll discuss a bit later on. But these tools are the main ones found via Google Space. So now, let us look at each tool. Now that we know which tools are available, let's check out the core functionality of Google's Workspace. What is the core functionality of Google Workspace? The core functionality of Google Workspace has 4 core functionalities. They are namely, we create documents and presentation. Number 2, you record, analyze, and present data. The third one is brainstorm ideas, manage projects, and store files. And the fourth one is to communicate globally. Those are the 4 core functionalities of Google Workspace. Now, let's take a minute to focus on the first point, which is creating documents and spreadsheets. Creating documents and presentations. Now, we're focusing on creating documents and presentation, which is Google Docs and Google Slides, which they can both be used to create documents and presentation. Both of these platforms can be used to create documents and presentations, which is Google Documents and Google Slides. Now, firstly, let's look at Google Docs. Google Docs, it's a word processing for Teams. You can create and edit text documents directly in your browser, as it has said before that you need to have a stable internet connection. So it uses a browser. It doesn't need a detected software like other softwares that you need to install when you need to use word processing. This one with Google Docs, you just need a stable internet connection because it works on the browser. On Google Docs, several people can work at the same time. You don't need to save the work or the document and then send to another person for the person to be able to edit or make changes to the document. You can work simultaneously at the document, where even in different places. You can work at the same time on the same document as long as you have a stable internet connection. And every change that is saved, it is saved automatically on the cloud. So you don't have to worry if maybe it happens that you were busy working on your desktop computers and then load shedding happens. We know that we live under circumstances of load shedding. If you were busy working on Google Docs and then it happens that load shedding happens, you don't need to worry about your work. It is saved automatically on the cloud. And then you can work on a single document with team members or people outside your company, because Google Docs, it works on the web. You can see edits as others type. You can communicate through built-in chat and ask questions by including comments. So with Google Docs, you don't need to be in the same physical space when you are editing the document or we are working on the document. You can be anywhere in the country as long as you have a stable internet connection. You can work on the document. You can even chat on the document, asking questions, and you can see other people, what are they typing. Now, moving to Google Slides. With Google Slides, you can create and edit polished a presentation in your web browser. It also works like Google Documents. It also works in the browser. It doesn't need a software. And several people can work at the same time so that everyone can always have the latest version. And you can work on a single presentation online with your business partner, your whole team, or external contacts, same as Google Documents. You can control who gets permission to edit, view, or just add comments. So with Google Slides, you have if you are the owner of the document, you have the full control of who gets permission to edit. You can choose if you want your team to edit, or if you want them to just view the document, if you don't want anyone to edit or make changes to the documents. Now, moving to recording, analyzing, and presenting data. With recording and analyzing and presenting data, we have two platforms where we use Google Forms and Google Sheets. They can be both used to record, analyze, and present data. Now, the first one, Google Forms. It is easy to create surveys and forms for everyone. You can collect data with ease. You create custom forms for surveys and questionnaires at no extra cost. Those are the benefits of using Google Forms. Also, you gather information, everything in a spreadsheet and analyze data directly in Google Sheets. This is wonderful. You create a form as easily as creating a document. Google Forms, they are very user-friendly. They're not complicated. You can easily create a form like you're creating a document. And then you can select from multiple questions type. You have drags and drops to record questions and customize values as easy as pasting a list. And then we move to Google Sheets. With Google Sheets, it's a collaborative, smart, secure spreadsheet for fast-moving organizations. With Sheets, it was designed with the need of agile organization in mind. And all features mean you can tap into the right insight to make meaningful business decisions. And it is a cloud-based architecture and enables you to collaborate with anyone, anytime, and anywhere. You don't need to be in the same physical space as it works on the browser. You just need a stable internet connection. Compatibility with external systems, including Microsoft Office. It removes the friction of work within multiple data sources and built on top of Google's infrastructure. Whether you're planning an event or sharing the latest revenue figures, Sheets make it seamless for teams to work together. You easily add collaborators to projects and then you see changes as they occur. You receive notification for edits that happens while you are away and chat with colleagues in the same documents. And all the changes are automatically saved. You don't have to worry that your work is not saved should you experience a technical problem or load shedding. And you have online access. You can create, view, and edit files whenever and wherever. So now we're going to look at what benefits are brought by Google Workspace. We have 4 benefits that are brought by Google Workspace, which are namely increased collaboration, improved communication, smarter working, and enhanced security. Now let's look at each of these benefits individually, how they work. Now, the first one is increased collaboration. With increased collaboration, Google Workspace stores your information in the cloud, enabling you to share documents and files with ease. You simply share a file URL or share documents files with via email. It encourages teams to collaborate and share ideas. You can also restrict editing access to certain people can only view, comment, or edit the document. And also you can track the changes, the comments with ideas and work with colleagues across the project. Now, let's see how you are improving communication. The second one is improve communication. The tools to improve communication. Google Workspace has a number of communication tools included in its offering. We'll look at each of these. Sorry about that. We'll look at each of these later on during today's presentation. We have four core communication tools offered, which are Google Mail, Google Meet, Google Currents, and Google Chat. Now, let's look at how you are working smarter. Now, we all want to work smarter, not harder. Ne? When you use Google Workspace, it helps your team to work smarter, not harder. You collect, analyze, and turn data into insights, both from customers and from your team. You harness your data and knowledge to make better decisions. You streamline your workflows and processes, store and manage files. You communicate and collaborate via one central system. You prevent threats before they happen with proactive security tools powered by Google. People can find the exact files, content, and knowledge they need. That's how you work smarter with Google Workspace. With built-in AL, helps everyone works with data and turn into insight. Last but not least, let us look at enhanced security. Securely stored files and data. You store documents, files, and data on the cloud via Google Drive. You use the admin console to centralize your administration. And you use integrated cloud identity feature to manage user and set up security options like two-step verification and security keys. You are also able to protect your organization with security analytics and best practice recommendations with the Security Center. Also, you can identify and prevent threats with Google-powered AL. So now that we know the benefits of Google Workspace, let us see how do we set up our own Workspace accounts. We have 6 steps into creating a Google Workspace account. The first one, you have to visit the workspace.google.com website that is shown on your screen. And then once you've done this, you click Get Started and follow the steps. The second step should be you enter your core business details or your business name and your number of employees and your location. That is step number 2. And step number 3, you add your contact details. Your first name, your last name, your email addresses. Step number 4, you choose your domain. Is either you will use the one you've bought or your suggested domain. Step number 5, you update your business address. And then lastly, you choose your username and password. Those are the 6 steps that you need to follow if you want to create a Google Workspace account. Now, let us get into how to get set up on Google Workspace. Now that you have created the Google account, then you set up on Google Workspace. We have 3 main steps of setting up, which are you create your business email, you add team members and users, and then you migrate your data and import files. Before we move on to the next session, I'd like to take a few minutes to take any questions you might have. Please feel free to use the chat box for questions. Okay, I can see we don't have any questions. Let us move on to the next section. The next session is to boost communication across your business. How to boost communication across your business. Also, I would like to start this second session with a question of asking which tools can you use via Google Workspace to boost communication. Which tools can you use via Google Workspace to boost communication? You can use the chat box for answer and I will check your comments. We have 4 key communication tools. The first one is Google Mail, and the second one is Google Currents, followed by Google Meets, and lastly, Google Charts. Let's look at each of these communication tools individually, how they work. With Google Mail, the first one is Google Mail. With Google Mail, you communicate globally with ease using Google's free email tool, Gmail. You send files as attachment, you create groups and mailing listing, you access the integrated calendar in order to stay connected and up to date. You use the calendar for both personal and team use. The latest Gmail make it easy to stay on top of the work that matters. With secure ad-free email as a foundation, you can also chat, make voice calls or video calls, and stay on top of project with shared file and task, all right in Gmail. And also you can build customer trust by giving everyone in your company a professional email address at your domain. And then we have suggestion actions like smart replies, smart compose, grammar suggestion, and nudges. They help you stay on top of your work. And Gmail work hard to keep you safe. Gmail, it works great with desktop clients such as Microsoft Outlook, Apple Mail, and Mozilla Thunderbird. You can migrate your email from Outlook, Exchange, or Lotus easily with customized tools that help persevere your important messages. Now, let us look at Google Meets. With Google Meet, you keep your team connected with enterprise-grade video conferencing. It's built on Google's robust and secure global infrastructure. Meet is included within Google's Workspace and G Suite for Education. Take advantage of the same secure by design infrastructure built-in protection and global network that Google uses to secure your information and safeguard your privacy. Google Meet video meeting are encrypted in transit, and our array of default anti-abuser measure keep your meeting safe. Google Meet is fully integrated with Google Workspace, so you can join meetings directly from a calendar event or email invite. Google Workspace Enterprise Edition also create a dial-in phone number for each meeting, so every guest has a great experience, even on the road without Wi-Fi or data. Now let us look at Google Currents. With Google Currents, you are able to engage employees, foster more meaningful conversation, and stay connected. You work towards a common goal. You build a community. And with Google Currents, you communicate your ideas and get instant feedback. You also share ideas with employees and gather input through meaningful, focused discussions, and topics that matter to your organization. You connect with your team members no matter where they are. Those are the benefits of using Google Meets. You even remote workers and deskless colleagues can stay plugged into the latest company updates and conversation with powerful Androids and iOS apps. You see the most important content first using current home screen, which is ranked by the relevance for each user. You follow tags on topics, search for specific information, and find what interests you. With Google Currents, you manage and moderate content faster with help from Currents. And then the key metrics to help admin and users measure engagement and find valuable insights. And then now we move to the last one, which is Google Chats. Now, with Google Chats, from direct messages to group conversation, Google Chat helps teams and business communicate fluidly and efficiently from anywhere. You don't need to be in the same physical space, you just need stable internet connection. And it is securely connect with anyone you work with and take group work to the next level with shared chats, files, and tasks. And also, it is offered by Google Workspace at no additional cost. You upload items from Drive, you collaborate on docs, sheets, and slides, you join online meetings with Meet, or use Google's powerful research to look up room members. With Chats, it's built on Google's Workspace security first ecosystem and offers an enterprise-grade solution that's reliable and compliant. It's also built with leading enterprise-grade security, including mobile device management, single sign-on, two-factor authentication, admin settings, compliance, and vaults. So now that we know which tools help boost communication, now let's discuss some top tips. We have 4 top tips to maximize your communications. The first tip is to recreate in-person communication. Second tip is to stay organized. The third one is to create mailing listing. And the last one is to set up projects or team rooms. Let us look at the first one, create in-person communication. 4 ways, in also the first one, create in-person communication. We have 4 ways to do that, which include you schedule regular Teams calls and check-ins via Google Meets and Hangouts. Number 2, you connect with colleagues and teams across the globe. You also brainstorm ideas, work on teams, on team projects, and hold virtual events. And then lastly, you join the mobile and desktop devices. Now we're going to tip number 2, staying organized. How do you stay organized? You improve communication across team through Google Calendar. You create multiple team calendars to track meetings, training sessions, vacations, and more. And then you can also improve visibility and organization by ensuring all team members remain connected. And you spend less time planning and more time doing, with shareable calendars that integrate seamlessly with Google Mail, Google Drives, contacts, Site, and Meet, so you always know what's next. You schedule events quickly by checking colleagues' availability or layering their calendars in a single view. You can also share calendars so that people can see full event details or just if you're free. With calendar, you view and edit your schedule from your phone or tablet. Use our optimized mobile apps and sync with your phone built-in calendar. You can also share special events with customers or let people know when you are available with easy calendar publishing. Third tip is to introducing three-step create email team mailing listing. With create team mailing listing, we have the first one is to create a Google Groups email listing. The second one is to send status updates to the group. The third one is to CC groups into email, share resources. And then the last one is to increase in visibility and foster community. Now we introduce the last tip, which is set up project or team rooms. How do we set up project or team rooms? You set up project or team rooms by encouraging team members to stay connected by creating a room in Google Chat or Google Mail. Also encourage team members to network with each other. You share project ideas, and also you exchange thoughts on best practices. And lastly, you create a strong sense of community. Now, I would like to take a few minutes to answer any questions that you might have on what we have covered so far. Please feel free to use the chat box, and I will be attending to your questions shortly. Right, I see we don't have any questions, and if that's, I would like us to continue and move to the next session. The next session is to leverage tools and increase collaboration within your business. How to leverage tools to increase collaboration. Also, this session, I would like to start it with a question. Which tools can you use on Google Workspace to increase collaboration? Which tools can you use on Google Workspace to increase collaboration? Please feel free to use the chat box to answer two questions. With collaboration, you collaborate across projects and teams. We have 4 key ways to collaborate across projects and teams. The first one is brainstorm ideas, which is followed by you share working files. The third one is make suggestions and tag colleagues. And lastly, track changes. Now, let us look at each of these key ways individually. Now, we have Jamboard, which you can harness the power of digital whiteboards to share ideas and improve brainstorming sessions. Jamboard is connected to the cloud and enables people in different locations to work together in real time through multiple touch points. With Jamboard, you can write and draw with the stylus. With the included stylus, it has an included stylus with it, which you can write and draw with it. And you can search Google and insert images or web pages. You can drag and resize text and images with your finger. You can sketch a box, a star, a cat, or anything. Image recognition technology converts your sketch into a polished image. You can share your gems with collaborators. Up to 50 people can work on a gem at once. And add Google Docs, sheets, and slides to a gem. You can create, edit, and share gems from your phone, tablet, or computers. You can pick up where you left off earlier or email your gem session when you're finished. Now, let us look at Google Drive. With Google Drive, you store files on the cloud via Google Drive, enabling you to share working documents, presentation, and sheets with ease. It also encourages collaboration and work from one central file. Google Workspace provides flexible storage options, so you will always have enough space for your files with centralized administrations, data loss prevention, and Vault for Drive. You can easily manage users and file sharing to help meet data compliance needed. You use the shared drive to store your team's work in a secure, easy to manage shared space. This is how Google Drive works. And any files added to shared drives are owned collectively by the team, so everyone stays up to date. You collaborate on live documents and you share files. You can share, comment, tag, and edit team document. Now, we make suggestion and tag teams. We can boost the collaboration across team by making suggestions and tagging colleagues via Google Workspace. This is one of the ways you can boost collaboration within your organization or your business. You can also edit shared documents in real time, reducing the need to send files back and forth. So it also saves time for you. You suggest changes, comments with ideas, and tag colleagues to increase visibility and boost collaboration. The only way to tag someone, it's simple. You just type the sign followed by your colleague's name to tag them in the document, and it will send a message to that colleague that there's a message for you. And then you can reply to comments and track changes so that you can approve them before implementation. You can also boost collaboration across your team by tracking and approving changes to documents and files. If you're collaborating with several people on a single file, it can be difficult to pinpoint who made certain changes and when. You can keep track of changes in shared files by identifying changes and who made them. You can also revert to a previous version if something was changed and then you do not approve of the change made. You can also go back to a previous version of the document before the change was made. With Google Workspace, it enables you to view all edits made to your document and files, and you restrict access, track changes, and approve suggestions to ensure collaboration efforts are managed and reviewed effectively. Now, how do you review changes? The first thing, you open your file in Google Drive, and From docs, sheet, or slide file, you select version history and then see version history. And then you click a timestamp to see a previous version of the file. You'll see name of people who edited the document, and then you'll see a color next to each person's name, the edits they made and appear in that color. To revert, name, or copy a previous version, you click to restore this version to make it the active version. You name the version to name a previous version, and then you can make a copy to create a copy of the previous version. You can also view who opened a file you've shared and what has changed in file since you last opened it. You can also view who shared a file with who. And then lastly, you can also view who commented, edited, or shared a file. Now, at this moment, I would like to take questions. If you have any questions regarding what we have covered so far, please feel free to use the chat box and I will be gladly responding to your questions. Please feel free to pose question using the chat box and I'll be gladly responding to your questions. Right, I see that we don't have any questions now. Before we move to the last session for today. Okay, I can see here we have Miss Virginia Mbengeni. Thank you for joining today's session, Miss Virginia. We can see you are with us today. If you own a small business and you are ready to scale, Google have free bootcamp available. All you need to do is sign up for Google Hustle Academy at the following link that is on my screen. That is for people that own small or big business and they are ready to scale. We have free bootcamp available. Now, with all the information that we have today about implementing Google Workspace across your business, what will be your next step? Now that you know how to increase collaboration, leverage tools, and all the information that you got from today's session, I would like to know what will be your next step. And today's session should be just the beginning. What one thing you will do to change your business after this session? What will be your first thing that you'll implement on your business? What are your next step? I would like to hear those steps on the chat box. Please feel free to ask questions, comments, and suggestions using the chat box. You can also find us on social media. We are available on Twitter as Digital Skills Africa, Facebook Digital Skills for Africa, and also Instagrams at Digital Skills Africa. You can also find us at SchoolNet SA, Facebook, SchoolNet SA, also on Twitter at SchoolNet SA. You can also find us on Instagram at SchoolNet SA. I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming today on today's session. I hope you have learned a lot and you will take whatever you have learned from this session, go and implement it on your business, and take step from this session and implement it on your business. Thank you very much for joining today's session. Please feel free to share feedback of what we have learned today using our social media platforms. Thank you very much to every one of you. I hope you have learned a lot and you will go back to your businesses. You will implement Google Workspace in your businesses as you have learned that it is an easy and free platform to use for businesses. It is also free and also it easy to use. It is also user friendly. Thank you very much to every one of you who have joined today's session. I hope you have learned a lot. Thank you.